Hi, I'm Claire O'Neill. I am the founder of EwA, or Earthwise Aware, or EwA for short. And we're here today to give you a virtual training of how to take or record dog poop sighting observations in the Middlesex Fells as part of the Fells Dog Poop Data Campaign. Right. So I'm going to share my screen so that you have a little bit more of a context there. Here we are. We're about to post and to advertise this Fells Dog Poop Data Campaign. We have been collecting dog poop data in the Fells for quite a while, but we're enlarging and spreading the efforts so that we gain more data, right? So the goal here is that you probably have noticed that there is quite a number of dog poop impacts or not in the Middlesex Fells. And this is really a big issue because we see that all the time. There is not a single day when we are not on the trail and we see or we don't see, a dog poop in a bag or not. So in 2018, we started to collect the data in order to create some data layer and see how deeply the problem, is, or how far it reaches habitats in sensitive habitat in the Fells. And this year, what we want to do is we want to expand or refine the protocol to also allow for specific kind of data that would help us or help them, as well as help the Department of Conservation and Recreation and the Friends of the Fells to target campaign in order to change our behavior in the Fells with respect to what we do with this dog poop here. So this is this campaign here, and you'll be able to sign up or to register to adopt a trail, in a sense, to record poop data here by signing here. But this is our site, our website. Otherwise, this is how we look like. So let me get you field ready. So this is our little logo for this campaign here. Here you have, we see that often. So of course, this is at the sheepfold there. So that's there's a kind of a very big issue at that location in terms of the amount of bag that we see and that are not necessarily collected on their way out. But we see that actually regularly at the entries or the parking entries in the Fells, different location. This is what our apps looks like once you install it. But first, why is it an issue? Right. It is an issue because the poop, as well as the urine, actually, of the dog is not natural, absolutely not natural. What happened is we have processed diet, which are very nutrient rich for our dogs. And the reason that why we have this kind of feed or diet is because we want to increase the lifespan of our dear companion, right? But the issue is it's really very rich in terms of phosphorus and nitrates. And the large amount of phosphorus and nitrates somehow deplete our soil, pollute our soil, and pollute as well our waterways. And there was a recent article this past week that shows that everywhere in the UK, in Belgium, here, what we have is that often this peri-urban type of reservation like the Middlesex Fells or the Blue Hills have a huge amount of fecal matters as well as urine, and that the level of phosphorus and nitrates are way beyond the safety level that are recommended by the different authorized institutions who look at this kind of issues there. The other thing too is that certainly the dog poop introduce harmful parasite that affects local wildlife. There is nothing less natural than dog poop, as well as our poop as well. Right? So we're very lucky to have you. We're really happy to have you joining this very important effort. So let's get you ready to survey. The first thing will be to upload the EwA survey app. Not really hard. You're going to go on your Google Play or your Apple store and install what's called ArcGIS Survey 123. So this is a platform that allows different surveys within this platform to be collected or to be uploaded later. So this is the platform that will receive our specific survey. So you open your mobile provider app store and you just install it. Of course, you're going to allow Survey 123 to access your photo and media. It's only when you are using your device in the field. The other thing too is to allow Survey 123 to take pictures, because we're going to depend on those pictures in order to create these data layers. Once it's done, very simple, you can continue without signing in. You don't need to have a license to ArcGIS in order to use this platform. So you just continue without signing in. You will identify yourself within our survey specifically, right? Once you get there, you're going to allow Survey 123 to access your location, because we need the waypoint where you find your records, where you record those observations. So do that. And then, so you're in the platform. And here now, the next step is to upload or to install our survey specifically. There is a QR scanner here, and this is the QR code for the specific survey at the Fells. There is one for the Blue Hills that you can find on our website, right? So you QR code that, and you're going to be in. Here we are. So this is how it looks like. Now you're in the field and you're going to collect. So you just see a poop somewhere, in bags or not, and you're going to collect this data. So you click on collect, and this is how it looks like, right? You're going to identify yourself. You're going to need to do that only once, because I'm going to give you a little trick in order to not have to re-enter your address or your Gmail address or your email account all the time. So you click here, mon nom, my name at gmail.com, for instance. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to store your email here, right? And save it somehow, or set it as a favorite answer. So like that, each time that you open and you collect, you click on collect, you're going to somehow recall, right? Or paste these favorite answers into the survey itself, right? So, and save a lot of time. All right, there is a map here that you're going to see, and the map is a quick way to check that you actually, or that your phone actually is pointing to the right location. And the reason why we have that is because often when we leave our house and we go to the Fells or, the Blue Hills or whatever, often that very first survey that you do that day, your phone might still think that it is at your home. So you just need to make sure that the first 2-3 surveys that, your phone warmed up, picked up the right signal, and actually indeed you are at the right location. So you just check. If you are not, then you can click on that and, correct your location, and then you should be all set. So here you're going to record the number of scat that you see at this location, and the location, read really the text. The location is usually within 1 yard square, right? Okay. Most of the time, by the way, what you're going to see is, certainly along the trail, you're going to see one poop bag or one scat, and each time your survey will be about this specific poop bag, etc. And then 10 meters later or 10 yards later, you're going to see another one, or maybe 1 mile later, it depends, right? All right. Now imagine that you have 3 dog scats within 1 yard of one another. So here you're going to take a picture. If the 3 are really visible in the same, little picture, just take one picture with the 3 dog scats, right? But it's possible that, for example, you have 2 at the bottom of a tree, and behind that tree, what you have is another one. So here, in which case you would take a picture first of the 2 that you see, and then you're going to go behind the tree that is, within your 1 yard square area, and then you take the other picture, right? So here, 3 pieces of evidence. Let's say that we have 1 here, right? 3 total. And then there are 2 bags in that record. See, I couldn't see it here. So then you have a total of 3. You take those pictures, easy. And then once you're done, you're going to submit it. Now we have another trick here. So you could send it now, but actually what we thing is better is that, you're going to spend, let's say, half an hour. So rather than setting each one and spending the data on each of the survey, right, because it costs, then just save them in your outbox, right? They're going to pile up. And then when you go home, once you go back home, you go back to your outbox and you just send them. And let's say, sometimes it has happened that I had 60 records in an hour. And so I would not, because it takes time as well to submit this survey through the Send Now. So it's really saving an enormous amount of time as well as it saves an enormous amount of data, right? It doesn't cost you anything when you are on your internet, line. So that's it. Very simple, right? So you're going to be you're going to assign yourself a specific trail, and you're going to go once or twice a month, making sure you make this trail regularly, and you're going to record that. Actually, each time that you're in the fells, even if you're somewhere else, we're interested in the opportunistic data, the thing that is a little bit less structured. But we want to make sure that we have your route, right? Or we understand what is your regular route, so that we can capture this data very specifically, right? Very, very simple thing. So, when you're in the field, it's really kind of a Pokemon game, right? And by the way, little thing is sometimes it's not that easy. There are some times where it's easier than others. Example, just after a snowfall, it's not necessarily within less than a day after a snowfall. It's not necessarily the best time because everything is covered with snow, so you don't really see the poop. It doesn't stand out. We noticed as well that there is often just after the first fall of the leaves, fall time, it's also very hard. And certainly because when you have bags, or even, when you have the brown poop, it kind of camouflage itself very well, through the leaf litter. So it's a little bit tough. It takes a little bit, of practice, but it becomes really a Pokemon game. So here I wanted to show you an example. So once again, once a month along a chosen route, preferably going more than a fourth of a mile in, right? More than once a month is better, but a week apart if the same trail is surveyed. Within a week, then suddenly I'm going to have, or the people who take care of curating the data are going to have to remove duplicate, right? If you have the same bag, 2 weeks apart, it's fine, by the way, because this bag is leaching, contaminant as well 2 weeks later. So we want to know that. We want to know somehow how long does this problem persist, in terms of bag per bag. Anyway, yes, we're interested in the end-bag scat as well, very important. And here, that's just what I mentioned. After a snowstorm, that's not the best time. Fall period, it's a little bit tough. By the way, look up as well. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you just, look at the trail, and you want to look also in the buffer zone along the trail edge. And you would be surprised. You lift up your head and you see that there's a bag in a tree because, I don't know, some people threw it. So look up as well, right? And now let's have a little game here, right? Let's get started. So here, do you see the bag? That would be this is a little bit of a trick question there, right? But I was able to see it right away, right? Maybe because there was the light shining on it, and maybe because the green is slightly different, but it's there. It's actually there, right? There is a bag here, right? So you're going to become, poop master in a sense. All right. This is the kind of data that we show to the public. It's actually available right now. Here you can see it, right? So this is the current map. We haven't processed yet this month's data, but at the end of each month, we process the data, we curate the data, we clean the data. And then, for the beginning of the month, then we have the last month's in, right? So we've been doing that since 2018, end of 2018. But here, what you see is 2020 and 2021 records so far, okay? Oops, here we are. I want to show you quickly another kind of usage of the data. Just so here, this is the kind of the nice, easy way to look at the data. And there's a lot, right? But you don't have necessarily a sense of the density. And you can see that here along a specific parking, you have a lot. And you can see as well that it reaches, very far in. We do some informal user trail surveys as well, and we record what we find along the way, and they're really everywhere in the fells, right? But you see, when you zoom in, there's more and more and more and more. Bellevue is really affected by that. But I want to show you quickly another view of the data. We just released our habitat fragmentation report. So let me show you there, so that you can see also density. And that's this is our report here. And I'm going to go directly to the biopollution. the biopollution should be right there. Here we are. And here you can see that we noted we're able to see density of groups. So it's everywhere in the fells, but then, and that's actually important to record that it's everywhere in the fells. Now, if we wanted to mitigate some of the issue, certainly close to Bellevue here, you see that there is a large density, large density, large density. So here you can prioritize based on location, right? But for us, it's also important to know how far it goes in, because you don't see that, but there are tons of priority habitats, sensitive habitat, vernal pools that we want to protect, that we needs to be protected from that, right? So that's another view of the data here. So the way to sign up for our campaign and to become biopollution surveyor is to simply go on our form and to fill that, right? And that's pretty much it. Let me check to see if I didn't forget anything. Yeah, so this is just to show you how this is a part of being a naturalist, right? The importance of our job and your job. And we do other, of course, we do other survey where we need help. So if you're interested in any of the others, please do feel free to join our effort. That's all that I have for today. You can contact us, of course, through our website. Thank you very much.